first of all, I would like to kind of start by talking about your year.
Come on.
We're at the halfway point of 2025. This is the
Mm-hmm.
final year of Coty. Shout out to Jay Black, who's been putting this on now, I believe, since 2017.
Yeah.
So that we're talking an 8-year run of excellence from him. Shout out to Jay Black. Appreciate everything he's done for the culture. One of my inspirations. He's killing it right now on his other channel doing reactions.
Body in there, bro.
So, yeah. So go check.
And that's really where he was making his bread and butter prior to that, just off of reacting to battle rap bars. Like his face, I remember his face was viral prior to, any like studio that he had already set up before. So like him still having that channel. And then, I didn't even know it was still going on until really, shame on me, but I didn't even know it was still popping until the Kendrick and Drake beef. And I was seeing the numbers he was doing from reacting into those disses, even though a lot of people were making money off of it. But when he did that, I was saying to myself, I was like, oh, I thought it was just the champion joint, but that was popping too, bro. So shout out to him, bro.
Yeah, for sure. So champion of the year going down. It's the final one ever. There's been some talk about Real Deal. Shout out to Real Deal. Real Deal's having a fantastic year.
Nice.
Shout out to Jada Nightwing. Jada Nightwing having a fantastic year. Ill Will, he's being talked about as one of the guys who might be at this point in the running, but I feel like your name is not being talked about enough right now. I think you have what might be Body of the Year versus J2. Shout out to TBL at Apollo. He's having impressive performances against Danger Zone, Showstopper. You're in this tournament now with T-Top. Your semifinals go down. Is it in a couple of weeks?
No, it's the day before Nome. So it's this
day
Saturday.
Before Nome.
So it's this Saturday and then Nome Sunday.
So you got, going up against is it Villa?
Villa, yep.
All right. So I'm tapped in a little bit. Semifinals, and you got on the other side of the bracket, it is Danger Zone versus
Sino Savvy.
Thank you. Sino Savvy, you know what I'm saying? Been on RBE a few times. So we got a nice little semifinal going down, and I feel like if you somehow win this tournament, then I think is it next week or a couple of weeks where Fonz's tournament kicks off?
Yeah, I start Fonz's tournament the first week of July.
And so who's your opponent for that in that first round?
Jerry West.
Ooh.
Who I've already battled. You know what I'm saying? We battled on Nome 2021. So I don't know what Nome that was, but we battled on that Nome. And so the consensus was that, I won every poll, won the app. I felt like I won in the building as well. But that was a good battle too. And he's a tough opponent every time. Jerry's been doing it for a while. So it was just very, very, I don't know what emotion I had, because for T-Tops, it was only 16 contestants. Yeah. So I could have easily been, I could have gotten, Dot first round. I could have gotten Cuban, could have got a Danger Zone again, which I had just battled him 2 weeks before. I could have gotten those guys, but obviously I didn't. I ended up getting a new guy named Juvelli the King. And then so with 16 people, I didn't get matched up with any of those guys. But in the 32-man bracket, I ended up pulling Jerry West first round. And I was just like, all right, Fonz, I don't know if you're trying to boost the ratings over there for your first round. You know what I'm saying? Granted, there were other people who, because 40 Bars is in that one, Shuni's in that one, Rubando is in that one. So there's actually more notable names in that tournament than there's T-Top's tournament. And so could have easily been anybody else, but it was, it was also 32 people. So yeah, so I got Jerry West first week of July.
So I'm just saying, like, if you're able to clear a 16-person tournament and then you're able to clear a 32-person tournament, we're talking about what, 9 rounds? Right, nine judge victories potentially. 4 in this one, and then 5 in the next one. It's kind of hard to overlook a person with 9 judge wins in 2 tournaments potentially. Right, I don't want to, I don't want to look past Villa. I don't want to look past Savvy or Danger Zone. You got to make sure you do your numbers there. You got to make sure Jerry West as a first round opponent is not an easy one. But I'm just saying. I think when you look at the early work you put in, the fact that you are battling at, I don't want to say unheard of, because then somebody's going to, I battled like 18 times in 3 days. You know what I'm saying? So, but it is an incredibly high clip. I haven't seen every battle, but the clips I've seen, you know what I'm saying? Like the bar that I quoted as I introduced you. Yeah. I've been a loud Christian, but they don't even allow Christians. Like who was Who was that opponent, and where were you battling there?
That was it. So Don Marino just did his retirement card. Shout out to Don Marino. That was his last. He's been doing events in Miami for a minute now, but that was his last time even battling. He did a 2-on-2 that card, and also that was his last card in general. But it was a guy from Cincinnati. His name is Mello Vey, and funny enough, I actually just battled one of his teammates. I want to say maybe 3 weeks ago in Cincinnati. And so, got matched up with him over here for a 1-rounder. But yeah, so and that's another thing with that. I tell people too, like, I got the tournament, but I almost feel like you kind of got to add some context to the strength of schedule, not just with the judge wins, but then also I'm doing these. I mean, I call them side missions, but I'm doing these battles that in between. So it's not like I'm taking full 2 weeks to go ahead and prep for these guys. While my opponents are, what I'm saying, I'm actually working in between, and I got to go ahead and prep for those. And, some people could be like, oh, yeah, but you're not even trying. No, I want to make sure that I'm putting on great content, one, for YouTube drops, and then two, these people are still paying me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still have to go out there and do a job and earn my money. And so, the first week of the tournament, I ended up battling Juvelli, and then the next day I flew out to Black Ice Cartel to go battle Showstopper, literally the next day. And so stuff like that. And so, just recently I started seeing people kind of say like, whoa, you know what? Since Loso's in the semis now, let's start talking about like, what if he wins this? And then, if he makes a deep run in finals tournament, what are we doing with this? And so I always tell people, Coty, before the year starts, everybody tries to, make like a statement. Oh, I'm making my Coty run this year. Oh, this is the last Coty I'm doing, right? The problem is like you really don't make your Coty run until it's almost luck, it's almost opportunity, you know what I'm saying, and it's traction. So for instance, Real Deal, I'm pretty sure in the beginning of the year, he probably could have said it, but it wasn't until you get through your JC performance, your hustle performance, and then you start stringing along this resume where it's like, okay, well, what are we doing here? And now, as the battler, you can now start setting your sights. Okay, well, now I'll set my year up this way. Because you can't do that in January. You know what I'm saying? But once you do that, Real Deal could be like, yo, that's enough right there. And I could also, you know what? I'll take, I see him and Geechee going back and forth for Bulletproof. I see, I know he just battled Tex in Pittsburgh, and I think he has Arsenal coming up. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could set himself up where it's like, oh, that's all I'll do then. You know what I'm saying? I won't even risk it or whatnot. And then, I guess other people, they like Jada Nightwing. He's just been having like great performances, great content. I think his content kind of supersedes he's one of the few battlers where it's like, yo, his content is so good that you start acknowledging it in each battle, putting them together and say, this is a crazy year. For myself, obviously I'm probably working a little bit harder, but it's really going to be, what are you going to do to get in conversations that if you did not do this, you would not be in general. And so for me, when I kind of I caught a lot of flack for even joining that first tournament, T-Tops, right? It was like, oh, he's a ringer. Oh, what are you doing, Loso? This is an amateur tournament. It's like, first of all, no, it wasn't. Like, that's not how it was marketed. That's not how it was promoted. It literally said on the flyer, all tiers are welcome. And Fonz and T-Top are both very, very appreciative, because they were like, yo, you're arguably the biggest name in both of the tournaments, you know what I'm saying? And it draws even the conversation with T-Top. Oh, Loso is just trying to, get an easy 10K. Well, that's the conversation that's helping him out when he's putting the free stream and starting these spaces and talking about it. Because now you get some people who's like, all right, well, I just want such and such to beat him then. You know what I'm saying? Like, Loso has no business in it. And so I kind of got to go in there with a chip in my shoulder too. Is like, I can't just win, but I have to almost like dominate in a fashion, because I mean, it's nothing for the judges to be like, well, Loso, you're always like this, but this guy we've never seen. We didn't know he was gonna be. It's the classic AI Jordan thing. You know what I'm saying? And so I keep that in mind, and I made sure that both of my performances so far were that. I mean, arguably the best performance of the tournament for both times. And so, and I want to keep that. And so with the conversation kind of going on, at first I thought it wasn't really gonna have too much credit because of the narrative around it. Right? It was like, the opponents. Look at the opponents, but it is 2 tournaments, though. It's 2 tournaments. It's in a short span, too. It's not like I'm doing one in January and February and then not doing one until November. But it's like back to back. And then now they're overlapping. On top of overlapping, great competition in Fawn's tournament as well. And like you said, I mean, at the end of the day, it does not matter if I mean, a judge win is a judge win. You know what I'm saying? That is really, really tough in a subjective sport where, I mean, you don't know what the judges are on that day. They might just like his style. They might like his talk better than your talk. You could be up there performing, you know, your tail off, bro. But if somebody else is just catering to that judge, I mean, you just never know. So I'm appreciative for the conversation that's been surrounding it this last week. I saw the boss put that out there. I saw Chilla Jones put that out there. And so you know, I don't take that lightly. And you know, I'm not losing focus either. I want to make sure I go into this weekend, you know, putting on a great performance.
That's what's up. Well, again, salute. Like I said, man, you know, obviously I'm rooting for you. Hopefully you can bring in, you know, the W in T-Top's tournament and then get through the gauntlet of Fonz's.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's actually 11 judge wins. I was counting it down in my head.
Okay.
You got 16, 8, 4, 1. Wait, 16, 8, 4, 1. No, it's not. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was told there would be no math. But anyway, last thing.
And I will say this too. So the only other tournament that I did, well, I actually won. So I won my first tournament ever, obviously, with the bullpen tournament. That's how I got on. But after that, I did the Ultimate Madness one. And even with that one, bro, like I still to this day feel like I won that battle with none. And it was such a good. But going into that, even though none had been battling before me and been, you know, battled, you know, whatever, up like that time I had just came off the JC battle. I came off dominating JC. And so it was like, oh, this is going to be a wash. And I'm not going to lie. Going into the battle, I did feel like out of all the names that were there, if you just want me to be honest, which was a wrong thing to think, I thought that none would have been the easiest one out of the names. I thought looking at the name, if it was like, you know, Bill Collector Saga, Mike P, stuff like that, I kind of just thought none, but I hadn't seen him in so long. But you can't underestimate anybody who's been a vet, one, and then two, who's just going to go in there with hunger and something to prove. And so he saw all of that. And so he was fighting. And so, you know, like I said, I feel like I did win that battle. And then, you know, on the app, won the votes and stuff. But he ended up getting it. And I do think, and he ended up winning it because of the fan vote. But I think it was, you know, it was this, whoa, we had never seen that before. And so after that, I actually had an opportunity, which I regret, bro. I had an opportunity to join Ultimate Madness, the one that JC won. What was that one?
JC
Ultimate
and Swamp.
Yeah.
That's
that Ultimate Madness 5 or 4? How many have they done? I know 3 was Gotti and Nitty, right? Was that 3? Gotti and Nitty?
So it's got to be 4 then. Got to be 4.
Okay.
The first one was the new guys. The second one was you, Saga, Holmesy. Yeah. Third one I think ends up being Geechee and Nitty. Okay. And then the fourth one is the one that JC won. I don't think they ever got to 5.
So I had got asked. So I think they wanted new guys, but they also wanted like Geechee and Nitty both were in it. They both were in it again. So they were getting champions. Fonz had joined it again. And so they were definitely getting the champions, and they were getting some new people too. What's crazy is that real name Brandon was supposed to battle somebody. There was somebody real name Brandon was supposed to get in the first round, and they had backed out last minute. Like the person either got sick, got locked up. I forgot what it was. I don't know who it was. And I got the call. For it. And they actually, because it was only maybe 4 days until the battle, it was like, hey, we're just gonna do a one round battle with real name Brandon. Do you want to take it? I have no idea. I feel like I could beat real name Brandon 10 times out of 10. I feel like in a 1 round battle, I mean, I definitely would have. But what it was, I'm not gonna say who. I called an individual, called a friend, and they talked me into not doing it. And I remember was like, yo, but this is an opportunity. It actually was no horseman. It actually was no horseman. Maybe Ward probably would have done it too, but it was another individual who was just like, yeah, I don't think you should, right? And I was just like, And I remember afterwards, I just said, why didn't I do it? Like, it's still an opportunity to go in there. Like, that's ego. That's almost like, you know, like, man, I don't want to have another judge loss on my record or yada yada. Like, I don't know why I just didn't take the chance, bro. And I kicked myself afterwards, you know, just like, man, I really wish I would have done that tournament. And so afterwards, I even told myself, I said, yo, if there's another one, like, I'm definitely joining. It doesn't matter, you know, where it's at or what's it going to be. So that's why you see me in 2 of them right now. So
that's what's up, man. Well, good luck. Good luck. Like I said, hopefully you can bring home the W. I'll say this about the none thing. I was shocked. I thought that you won that battle. I forget which rounds. I just remember this is during the Was it
Yeah.
post
Yeah.
pandemic?
This is
right?
caffeine. This is caffeine. Yeah, this is caffeine.
Yeah, I was setting up a surprise birthday party for my
Mhm.
wife, and I just remember walking around the space that we had rented. And
Yeah.
when they announced that None won, I just couldn't. Again, it was a really good None performance.
Mhm.
And I actually coined a phrase off of that. I was like, the curse of high expectations and the gift of none.
Yeah.
Because like
Mm.
everyone had you. The most amount of people had you winning that tournament.
Mhm.
People had you winning over none clearly and easy.
Mhm.
And I think that again, respect to him and the work he did in that battle. He went on a run after that too. He had a nice little string of performances in that tournament and on URL in general. But I just think that people were shocked that his material was close enough to yours, and so they graded on the curve. He got the W because I remember listening to bloggers in the aftermath going, "Yeah, Loso really won that. Like he really got that." And so again, respect to None, respect to the run that he went on after that. But yeah, I also agree that you got that battle, not even on some biasness. Like I just thought, you got that one.
He there was a funny clip of him like walking out, like they had the Hip Hop Is Real had followed him right after they announced, because it was 4 judges, and Method Man and Iron Solomon chose me, and it was 40 Bars and Tony Bro who had chose None, and then he won the fan vote. Which let me side note, if you're ever in a tournament and the judges of Method Man and Iron Solomon said you won a battle, guess what? I think you won that battle. I think those 2 guys, you know what I'm saying? Probably, I just feel like their vote probably should have, weighed a little bit more than but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, those 2 guys that said I won. So, but it was funny once he got the fan vote. So it went to the fan vote, ended up getting a fan vote, and Hip Hop Is Real is following him out, and he is just like, I told you, y'all doubted me. Everybody doubted me. I'm saying, like, you see even him, like he felt that way. I almost feel like when we had finished battling, like he thought I'm pretty sure he even told me, he was like, man, I think you got that. Like he told me that after battle. But when he won, he was out there, and it was funny because Let's Talk Battle Rap ended up taking that clip and putting it side by side. So when Kirk Cousins came back on the Buccaneers, he was like, you like that? You like that? And it was kind of double whatnot. But it was what it was, bro. That's history, and so we're trying to make history again.
Yes, sir. Last random thought from that Ultimate Madness. That is also the aftermath, because Saga, he gets upset by Holmesy in the first round. So you got Uncle Rod talking to y'all. I have this clip saved in my phone too.
So good.
Uncle Rod talking to you and Saga, and Smack is out there, and he's like, yo, that's my nigga Reaper Rail over there. And he's like, Gwitty's like, nah, Smack, it's me, Gwitty, Snasty. Oh,
bro, so hilarious,
I still have that clip in my phone.
So hilarious, man.
Stupid funny, bro. Stupid funny. But anyway, let's transition. Shout out to Trent in the building, man. Let's transition to Nome. Let's talk about Nome real quick. Nome 15 going down this weekend. Shout out to URL. Shout out App Game. Man, they bringing back WatchBattleLive.com.
Classic.
I should go and change my password, because if anybody who had my password, I feel like half of the culture had my login to Watch Battle Live back in the day. But they're bringing it back to Watch Battle Live. 6 battles going down this weekend, back in New York, by the way. Shout out to that. So real quick, I just want to kind of get your thoughts on the card. Go battle by battle, who you think is going to win. So let's start. I'm going to start at the bottom of the card, work our way up to the top. Okay. First off, we got Chess versus Eunice. How you feel about that one?
Man, I think that's such a good battle. Shout out to Eunice, bro. I mean, he's done nothing but even in certain battles where, like I remember being at the Riot, and it kind of seemed I think you were there that night when he battled Franchise. Were you there when I battled?
I was there. Okay. I was there. Yep, I was in the building.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because Rock and Ward and me and Geeky was that day. Rock and Ward. Yeah, I remember even that day. I remember everybody in the room was like, "Oh man, Franchise dominated Eunice." Like it was, and I remember even Eunice felt a little like defeated or whatnot. Went back though, and I watched it. I was like, "Yeah, Franchise won," and Franchise definitely executed on some like bigger moments like that. But Eunice was really good, and you just don't see like bad Eunice performances because he's like giving it 110%. So he is very, very, very deserving of this shot. I'm happy for him or whatnot. He's just one of those guys where it's just like, yo, you know what? Like, I mean, I'm not stringing along no questionable performances. I'm putting on great stuff. And hey, this is a time to go ahead and show to the world what I can do. And so, and I think Chess, he's just he's solidified, right? He's as far as like a name and also like a legend and stuff like that. He has his lows and he has his highs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Chess highs are probably just as high as just as low as he's probably been sometimes. And so right now, you know, he's in a spot where it's kind of like, you know, where do you really put Chess at, or you know, what do you remember? And I just saw the face off. I don't know if you did, but he just seemed motivated. He just seemed like, yo, like, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna wow you up. You know what I'm saying? Like, because this is Nome, this is New York. That's gonna be the tough task. Like, I think people on Twitter and on Spaces, I see the majority of those people saying Eunice is gonna win, right? They're just like, Chess chokes, and then Chess did, and then Eunice just been more consistent like that. And that's fine until you get on that stage, though. And I mean, Chess is just one of those guys who's electrifying. He has 3 slogans that when he opens up the battle with, they all hit like haymakers. Like, these aren't just slogans where it's just like, you know, regular, like, he has legit 3 openers, you know what I'm saying? And so he does that, and the crowd is just in the palm of his hand. And then he starts building momentum, and then, you know, he's a guy that feeds off of that too. Like, once a line lands, then he gets on this and stuff. So I'm excited to it. So if I had to choose, bro, I think maybe Chess. And granted, it's easy to be like 2-1 this part, but I'm gonna just say I think Chess is probably gonna come out victorious. The consensus. I think it's gonna be a great battle, though. I think it's gonna be a great battle. A lot of replay value between both of them. I always, even the first time I saw Eunice, I thought I saw glimpses of Chess within his style. The ways that he kind of lands certain bars or whatnot, but I do kind of lean towards Chess in that particular battle.
I agree. I shout out to Eunice. He had the space that before the battle was announced. And look, he was talking his talk. You know what I'm saying? And he had his people, and they were defending him. And, you know, there was a bunch of back and forth about, you know, who has more to prove, Eunice or Chess. But listen, and I posted this in the comments of that live. I think it was Eunice's live. It wasn't Tati's. And I was like, yo, what is Eunice going to do when he's standing on that stage and Chess goes, Chess is home.
Yeah.
And the crowd finishes his slogan sounding like a war chant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Bring up anything that's past tense. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, slogan,
bro, he has 3.
Slogan
he legit slogan. Has 3, bro. He legit has 3.
And it's like he could save each one for each round. Like, he doesn't have to say. Now, normally he backs to back with the slogans, but like he could say one per round, and it's automatically instant momentum to start his round. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I'm gonna go Chess 2-1. I do have this being my battle of the night. You know what I'm saying? I think obviously anytime Smack URL is in New York, the crowd is going to be excited. They're going to be hyped, and so if this is the battle that starts off the card, you're going to have, to me, in my opinion, a great opener to the event. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to give something for every MC after that to shoot for. So I got Chess 2-1. This is my battle of the night, though. I think it's going to be, has the potential. Like, I feel like Chess really launched his career. Like, that's the battle. Like, Easy had been building.
Yeah.
That's the battle that got him into the stratosphere. This has the potential to be that for Eunice as well. And so the pressure is going to be on him. Dang, I call this my battle of the night, but the next battle on
bro, there's legit 3 battles that I think you could flip a coin on and be like, yeah, I think that might be battle of the night.
Dog, Rum Nitty versus Jada Nightwing.
I don't have this as one of the 3, but I do think it's gonna be a good battle. I don't have this as one of the 3 so Jada Nightwing and Rum Nitty, dope matchup, dope style clash. They were teammates. If you watch that, if you go back, I actually went back and watched that performance, and they were clicking on all cylinders, bro. They were coming up with some crazy stuff. And this is one thing, bro. Like, you're going against a guy in Rum Nitty who is, I mean, known to get on those stages and throw planets at you. Like, you're literally getting hit with planets while you're up there. And then you got a guy on the other side. And I don't know if you feel this way, A1, but Jada Nightwing, to me, probably has the best pacing of any battle rapper. And I say this in this way. I'm not talking about as he's rapping. I'm talking about there's times as a battle rapper when, you know, you feel the urge, like, yo, he just shook the room and it's out. Okay, let me go straight into my round. Let me go straight into a rebuttal. Let me switch this out. What Jay doesn't do any of that. Jay, for 90% of his battles, what he does, people don't notice, he actually chooses to go first. He does not. The Ill Will battle was actually the first one in a long time that I've seen it. But he actually, if you go back, there's no coin toss with Jada Nightwing. A lot of people don't know that. He actually just says, hey, I'm going to go first. Not only does he do that, but after you finish rocking the room, bro, he stands there. And it's not even like, all right, hurry up, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't even feel that. You're just like, no. Like, he's legit controlling the crowd and the tempo. And like, no, let me allow you guys to get down off that high that he just gave you, right? Ill Will and Tay Rock and all these other guys. Let me do it because I'm not gonna feed into their moment if this doesn't land like that. No, let me start from scratch. And he does that, and he does it so well. And I think it actually helps him out because of his style, because you're just clinging on to every word. He's one of the few battle rappers where you're not necessarily waiting for this haymaker. You're not waiting for this performance bar. You're just seeing, man, he's saying some great content, breaking down his opponent, you know, and doing something very, very refreshing that other opponents haven't done to these people. So I say all of that to say, though, this is still this, like, if you had to walk out feeling like someone won, Nitty is, I mean, it's just very, very difficult to go against Nitty on that stage, right? It's kind of similar to like a Torque or whatnot, but Nitty is just up there. He's a fan favorite. He's your favorite battle rapper's favorite battle rapper, and that has been that way for a while. No one dislikes Nitty. It's very hard to win a judge battle against it, win even on the URL app. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he's just his material is catered to the average battle rap fan, and so I think that's gonna be a great battle. But I am leaning towards, at least in the room, once you walk out of there, that Nitty's going to be seen as the winner.
So I got Nitty as well. I think the one thing I'm curious about with Jay is I don't remember the last time he was on a big stage. Yeah. Right. I think he's been in mid-size, maybe 300-400 people. But if we're talking about anything above 5, the last one to my memory was the Ultimate Madness finals against Fonz.
And that was in an empty room, wasn't it?
Nah, I think that was a stage. at that point.
No.
You don't think so?
No, I'm pretty sure that was in those like quiet settings or whatnot. Those,
okay.
Like, yeah.
I could have swore
battle rappers would have been in there, but I don't think it was like I think you're thinking if it was the first remember the first caffeine event that we had was that John.
You're right, because that was Ultimate Madness 1, right?
Yeah, Ultimate Madness 1.
You're right. Yeah. You're right.
Yep. So Jada Nightwing Fonz, yeah. I think really the biggest stage probably would be his Kid Chaos battle at Civil War, which was probably 5 or maybe a little bit more, maybe close to that or whatnot. But it was a lot of people that day. So I think that was probably his biggest stage.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which he did well. He commanded the room and stuff like that. So
yeah. So I'm curious to see if there's 1,000 people, which this is Gramercy, right?
Yeah.
So, if they can get,
which I've never been, but I think they, like, I keep hearing different things. Like, I don't know how the seat, I think that it's like a theater, right? Like, people sit down as well. Yeah. So I wonder how the crowd looks when you're in the room, but I mean, nonetheless, though, it's going to be it's a sold out event already. So
interesting. Gramercy 650. So, maybe somewhere around that Civil War.
Yeah.
Size crowd. So so that's interesting. So
after like I feel like after 400 people, everything starts looking the same. Like unless you get to the thousands, I'm saying like 400 to like that 700, 800. Like at least when you're on stage, it kind of looks the same. Because like I mean, when I was battling Twerk at Civil War, like it looked like if you asked me, I was like probably like 600. When I was battling Scotty, I was like it looked like 1,500. You know what I'm saying? But then there's other events where it was like, man, I remember being on stage for Ill Will Ward. That looked like over 1,000. You know what I'm saying? And then we really don't know the number. Like anybody can fluctuate, whatever. But at a certain point for the battler, there's like a certain part where it's like, okay, this looks like you can be like 4 to 800, 4 to 700, and then after that, you kind of see like 1,000 or more. So we'll see.
Okay. All right. Cool. So let's keep it moving. Let's move on to the next battle. Next up, we got Miss Hustle versus T-Top. How you call that one?
Man, Hustle doesn't lose a lot, bro. Miss Hustle doesn't lose a lot, and because she just her energy. She's in New York as well, bro. I mean, she delivers. She's really, really good. I do think though that T-Top is probably going to. I have T-Top. If I had to choose, I have T-Top winning this battle. And I have T-Top winning this battle. I think that he is. for someone who doesn't move around on stage a lot, I mean, he is very charismatic and entertaining, bro. And he just knows how to create moments, create conversations, create things where the crowd participates. Be prepared to see stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Where I think there's certain intangibles that's gonna have like T-Top just being the fan favorite in that particular battle that have him edging. I haven't beaten Hustle with. So I think that Hustle's going to put on a great performance. Like I said, it's in New York. She wants to. There's always this. I feel like there's this Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire thing going on with Jazz and Hustle, where they're not going one-on-one with each other, but every card that the other person is on, it's like, I'm about to hit a home run right now. You next, Jazz just came off the Hollow battle. So I think it's Hustle's turn to go ahead and remind us like, no. She's not clearly the best woman. She's not clearly the best woman of all time. It is me. You know what I'm saying? Boom. And I think that chip on both of their shoulders, even though they don't say it, this hasn't been said. I think that to a fan of both of them and someone who keeps their ear to the coach and also their eyes on both battlers, I think that it is this unspoken competition thing where Hustle has came out and said, look, I've accepted the battle several times. It's her who doesn't want the battle. Jazz just came out and was like, yo, I already beat you. I don't need to battle you again. No, I don't entertain no conversations of you being better than me. I already feel like, and I'm doing things that you're not doing. I'm battling these guys and all this stuff. I am the girl. And so both of them going back and forth. So I look to see Hustle kind of like, put her stamp and be like, okay, next on you. What you about to do with Arsenal next? Because look what I just did with this person. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens.
All right. I got. I'm going Hustle. Going Hustle 2-1. I think Hustle. I think the energy, like you said, I think being home in New York, I think that'll be the driving factor that gets it done. T-Top, obviously, he's going, like you said, he's going to be entertaining. He's going to be funny. But I think the back-to-back punching from Hustle is going to get the job done on this one.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, we got 3 more. So John versus Fond.
This is one of the 3 that I think, and it really depends on what you think of each guy. So this is John's first battle back after really a great year last year, and the Cassidy battle was supposed to go ahead and cap that off, but because of all the conversation around the Cassidy and the end game business behind it and kind of falling on the shoulders of John, he caught a lot of flack for it, and it kind of like almost made you forget what he did versus Frack, what he did versus Sirius Jones on like 2-3 days prep, what he did. I forgot his other battles or whatnot. And so him and Fonz had been calling him out. One thing about John, even though I feel like it's always easy for the new guys to kind of like try to like bully John into a battle or DNA, one of those two, which is so odd to me because those guys have proven themselves that, hey, we don't care what tier you are. We'll go in there and we'll embarrass you. We don't get any credit for it. And then you're still going to do it or whatnot. And then if we don't take it, we're scared or whatnot. It's like, yo, we're the 2 guys that you shouldn't be saying that to. But I feel like him even taking Fonz, though, is just a testament to that. Like, Fonz is probably right now, he's my favorite puncher. He is one of my favorite battlers as well. Like, when I see a Fonz battle come up, I actually click on it. Doesn't matter what league, because I love to hear the refreshing material that he comes up with. I think he's super, super creative. And also, I've had the privilege of hearing both of their materials. I'm cool with both of them. And so, I haven't heard all of their material, but I have heard probably about a round and a half of material from both. And it's really, really good, bro. I mean, both of them respect each other. Like, when I speak to both of them are preparing as if like, nah, I can't play around. So I mean, it's kind of I'll just say this. This is probably my pick of the battle tonight. I don't want to choose because, like I said, because I've already heard a lengthy amount of material. I don't want to do that, but I do think that both of them are going to put on the show.
Man, I'm gonna edge John on this one, man. Like, I'm trying to think who's the last kind of newer artist to get a W over him. Like, it's really hard.
Maybe Twerk.
I know Frack was back in, depending on.
Yeah, I don't think Frack won that.
Yeah, so
yeah, it was a good battle, but I don't think it was a loss on John.
I think Twerk is the last one. Like, John just has, like, he just knows how to beat these and get W's against these newer names. So
yeah,
I'm gonna edge John on this one, but I do think this has potential to be battle of the night. All right, I don't know if we want to call. I don't know if this is co-main event. But it's the next to last. Tay-Rock and Real Sick.
Which is one that could be battled tonight as well. And I mean, you got two of the most consistent guys, right? I mean, Tay-Rock is probably even, I mean, you got to give him maybe even a more significant edge of consistency because he does it almost, I feel like at least twice a month he's like battling, if not, once a month. Where Sick doesn't do that. Sick is real strategic, almost like easy to block captain, like, you know what I'm saying, in real, like, yo, you know what, I'm only gonna come out, like, you don't really see Sick giving out shots to, like, he's not battling Foots, he's not battling Hansel or Eunice and that, like, he's not gonna do that, you know what I'm saying, because he has a way of trying to go ahead and establish himself, like, nah, look, battling Ilmac and I'm battling, Tay-Rock, and I got Pastay, and that's just how he's been. Even when he started his run, certain opportunities were coming to him, where he was then able to kind of, and he'll even tell you this, at one point, maybe around 2022, he was able to kind of be like, oh, you know what? I've been putting on great performances, all these guys, so I'm only going to take battles where it's like, these are top tier guys. I'm not going to do nothing else. And so, with that being said, I mean, you're going against the LeBron James of battle rap, you know what I'm saying? The logo of battle rap. And the last time that I seen Sick on stage was against Shine, and Shine was overwhelming for Sick. Now Shine is a different performer, right? Shine's a different performer where he is just a nonstop, like, ball of energy up there. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't think the bars are matching, if Sick feels like, oh, I'm clearly out rapping them, and K-Shine's up there like, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling real sick. So, put it out line, I had a real sick, post it up on Instagram. It made the real sick, you know what I'm saying? Like, where it's not, but when you're stacking them up on each other and you're moving the way, you know what I'm saying? Or, like the wave thing that he, you know what I'm saying? Like Sean was moving up there and it was very overwhelming for somebody who was rapping. But I do think Sick is learning from that. Sick is a game watcher. Like, he watches his game tapes, even from his face-offs. Like, that's how, like, obsessed he is with that. So I do have this as probably one of the battle of the nights as well. And if I'm leaning towards something, bro, maybe Edge Real Sick, bro. Even though that's Rock is going to be up there just firing all cylinders. Last time I seen Rock on a stage that magnitude, was it the same night as the Shine battle? Because he demolished T-Top that night. You know what I'm saying? So
he did.
I don't like he's had big battles everywhere else.
Hustle
Was that afterwards?
Hustle was after that, because that was a big stage.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Was that Kings versus Queens?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Rock versus Miss Hustle, I believe, was a big stage. Either that or Swamp.
I feel like the Swamp one was before, but yeah.
Before the T-Top looking at a snippet from 15 Minutes of Fame, Rock punching on Hustle. That's 2023.
Okay.
Like I said, I feel like that was on the stage. So yeah. I think that's good. I got Sick. I mean, it's interesting you bring up the Shine battle, because I feel like he learned a lot from that battle.
Yeah.
I feel like after that he battles Pat Stay, right? Like, he's Pat Stay's final battle.
Who? Sick?
Sick.
No, that was before Shine.
Okay,
my fault. That was before Shine. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, but again, I feel like he learned from that. Obviously, Disaster was after the Shine.
Yeah. So Disaster was that might have been his last one. But even that one though, see, like, I feel like my challenge to Sick would be, you have to even outdo that, because even though you clearly won that battle, I just felt like the takeaway from that battle was how bad Disaster was, rather than how good you were. And like the stupid things Disaster was saying up there. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was like, oh, let's go back and watch this memorable Six performance, which it probably was, but it was just overshadowed. So for this one, you're going to have a guy who's going to be just, same energy as Shine, bro. Like, and that's what I would do, Sick. I would probably watch that. I mean, even though you probably already clipped up by now, but that's going to be the conversation there.
All right, man. Last one. We can get to this NBA. We can talk to Caitlin Clark and other topics. So, main event, Geechee Gotti versus T-Rex. I feel like this battle's been a long time in the making. Let me just say this, and I'm gonna let you have a stage to close us out. T-Rex, like, so I am not a battle rap lifer, right? I don't have a battle rap lifespan. I haven't been watching this all my life. Every time I watch T-Rex live, I think I've seen him live 3 times now, for sure twice. Hitman's Card versus Swamp. And then I saw him here live in Kansas City. Shout out to Jay That Guy on the platform versus Jay That Guy. 1 round.
Mm-hmm.
There's an aura with Rex.
Yeah.
Well, like Rex, he might give you 1 round.
Yeah.
But for that 1 round, he's the greatest battle rapper alive. First time the haymaker lands and he slams the hat in person. I'm like, he's the GOAT. Like you can never get me to say anything bad about this man just based off the 2 times I've seen him live.
Yeah.
That said, Geechee Gotti, 2-1, maybe Gentleman's 30. I actually, you know what? I'm gonna give Rex the first. I think Rex is normally pretty clipped up in his first round. And look, maybe he taps into the magic of being back in New York for a home game, and he's able to steal a second round from Gotti. I personally don't see it, but I got Gotti 2-1.
Same, bro. So the last time I seen Rex, he was phenomenal in person, and that was against Bad News at Endgame. And boy, oh boy, was Rex like, I mean, all 3 rounds. And to beat Bad News, whatever you think about, you know, Bad News as a battler or content and whatnot, to beat him in bullpen though, pretty clear. Not too many people can say that, you know what I'm saying? And so Rex was just, I mean, he was just phenomenal, bro. He has that new thing too. He did it against Chilla, he did it against News. He's like, chill, you know what I'm saying? You ain't never chilled nothing. Chill's nothing. Feel something. You know what I'm saying? He did it against News. He was like, bad nothing. Bad something, you know what I'm saying? Like, and if he does it again, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe some like Crip nut. If he does that same, I feel like he should market that or whatnot. And so I do think him being in New York is gonna help, and he is a legend, right? People are gonna be excited to see him. And he should probably go first. If I was his coach, if I was in the corner of him, I would say go first, Rex. Like get that momentum, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be the main event, get that momentum. Don't let Gotti say whatever he's gonna say about you not being a Crip and all this other stuff. You go first. And so, but like the same thing though, I think Gotti, and here's why, another reason why I think Gotti is gonna go win. I think Gotti is one of those guys where he doesn't take too many losses either, right? It's really difficult to clear him. And the last time he was in New York, he got cleared by Mook, by another Dot Mob member. And so I think that he's gonna go in there looking for like, New York, like this is my get back type of thing, you know what I'm saying? And regardless of, you know, what the look or the aura that Rex is going to have in that room, I think Gotti is just a guy who, one, he comes into battle super, super deep. He's a legend everywhere he goes as well. And once he starts rapping and talking to Rex in a certain way, I mean, I think everything else goes out the window. So because of that, I think Gotti wants his dub over Dot Mob. I got Gotti winning pretty clear as well.
I'll tell you what, Rex, you could probably, if you come prepared round 1, you can get round 1.
Yeah.
If you can somehow tap in and get a Joey Badass bar with the Joey Badass, pull up in person, that might get you round 2 in the battle. Fire. I'm just saying. But yo, we appreciate y'all tapping in. Tell us who y'all got, man. What's your battle of the night? Who you think could have the performance of the night? Tap in, hit us up in the comments at Brains and Bars on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok as well. Hit us up in the comments here. Sorry, hold on. Let me address something. My wife just texted me. That's the man's name, dear. That's the man's name. All right. So
wait, what was the name that was in question?
Oh, Joey Badass.
Oh yeah.
She's like, are you cursing? And I'm like, that's
no. It was me. So because I have a bunch of battle rappers saved in my phone as their battle rap name, it's just always hilarious when I'm next to somebody and Drugs is calling, and I'm just like, look, I can tell you who that is. You probably already, formed your own opinion, but just rest assured that's not the only name that's in my contact list that's going to be questionable. So
I will call him Joey Badmon for you. Yeah. Anyway, we're done. We're done talking about Joey anyway. Moving on. Let's jump into the NBA Finals.